I am back from my vacation. Welcome back to the channel, and I get to make another video for you guys. Today, I am going to be talking a little bit about the CyberTruck. What are my feelings on it after, well, I basically pre-ordered the CyberTruck the first chance I got. Literally the first second that the option came up to pre-order it, I did. And I get a lot of questions now that a little time has passed. Do I still feel the same way today as I did then? I think the bigger question here is not do I feel the same. I think the question is, do I still want the truck? Now the answer is absolutely. I have not canceled my order, and there's a few reasons for this. The number one reason for this is because I think the truck is an amazing truck. I have my concerns about it, but I don't have enough concerns to cancel my order. If it was to come out today, obviously I would love to see what is available, what they're gonna do, and how is this truck gonna really work in a true everyday scenario, in an everyday environment. And I'm gonna get into a few of those things today, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. Now, if you guys don't know, I ordered the second option, dual motor all-wheel drive, obviously. Okay, the reason I went for this one is because tri-motor I think is just it's too much, and obviously I don't want just a rear-wheel drive, so best balance is definitely dual motor. In this case, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the things that I think are really good, some of the worries I have, and some of the things that I really think will make this truck either really good or really bad. And how am I going to decide whether or not to go forward with actually purchasing the truck when the time comes compared to right now? First and foremost, it has to be the size. And I think that's kind of the elephant in the room in this case. The size is massive. This truck is a massive truck. And because it's such a big truck, there are questions in my mind, or is this something that's even fit into my parking stall? This is really important, of course. This part is really important. You see, because of its crazy size, and it's not crazy in a big sense. If you look at a Ford F-350, obviously, it's possible to park these vehicles, but they are extremely difficult to park these vehicles. And if you live in a massive city, then you know what I'm talking about. I happen to live in Vancouver. This is not a place where, I can go downtown and just find parking anywhere. It's always a struggle. Even my Model S, which is sickeningly deceiving, it is a massive car. And even my Model S does have issues finding parking. Of course, the summon feature helps. However, this is one of the big things that I'm going to be looking forward to when we see the final design of this truck. You have to remember that this is, in many ways, just a concept, what we're seeing out here. And yes, it's a drivable concept. Elon is out there driving the truck, but it's still a concept. There's still a few questions about, what's going to be approved by the time that gets released to the masses. Are they going to make any alterations to the truck? Are they going to do anything specific? Are those wheels going to stay the same, or is that going to be a different option? Overall, what I'm looking at right now, I am treating it as a concept. I'm treating it as a wonderful idea. I am not 100% sure if this idea is going to continue on all the way into actual production. And this is, I think, where a lot of people get confused. We fall in love with the car for what it is, or in some cases, people just can't stand them because they don't understand it. For me, the biggest issue here is going to be understanding what's going to be the final result from this. What's going to be the final production car? And we're not going to find that out maybe sometime next year, I think. But until then, I would like to see certain things, more clarified, at least hopefully at that time. So the purchase of the truck for me will depend on the size as well. Is it going to stay the same size? Which doesn't necessarily, it's not a deal breaker. I would like to see a little bit more user friendly, especially for cities. On the second part of this is that fold down tailgate. You see, the fold down tailgate, once you fold it down, if you have the ramp in it, right off the get-go, I think that's a huge bonus. I don't know if the ramp is going to be in the trucks, or is that going to be just an option. And you see, I think this is where, again, I'm thinking about it. When I ordered my truck, I looked at what they presented to us. Obviously, the body being, dent resistant. I'm going to say dent resistant in this case, is a massive plus. I'm not really worried about where I'm going to park this truck, and I think that's a huge selling point for me. I think the next aspect to it is it going to be truly as big as it's advertised? And of course, the tailgate, will it actually have that ramp? And now, one thing I did notice on the videos with regards to the ramp is that the ramp is quite steep to get, let's say, a motorcycle on there. I get the feeling the motorcycle is going to bottom out, especially if you have a sports, a sport bike. If you have a off-road bike, I think it's perfectly fine. Now, for me, I run, I love riding, obviously. And because I have motorcycles, that's something I'm going to be considering putting into the truck. Again, how that ramp is going to be is going to make a huge difference. And again, is that going to be just another option that I'm going to have to pay for? I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to go into paying another, for another option. And I think this is very, very important because the $100 pre-order is not bad. It's actually a good thing because it allows me to say, okay, you know what? I have something to work towards. It's really, really good to give me something to work towards. It's good to give anybody something to work towards. But the end result, what's going to make or break Tesla's pre-orders, I think, is going to be that final moment when people are going to be coming down and, going through the options of what's included with that car for the price as advertised. Now, we all know that in my case, I already included in there FSD, but we know that on top of the price, there's going to be wheel options, color options, more than likely interior color options, which, by the way, can add anywhere from $2,000, $3,000 just to the price of the vehicle right there and then. So your interior options are going to be massive. Let's not forget that there's also going to be, I'm getting the feeling that the truck is going to go down the same path as the rest of the line, where they're going to charge subscriptions for, especially data, maps, music, so forth and so on. They're already rolling this out as we speak. So obviously that's going to be an added cost if you're going to want all those options as well. Then comes with the tailgate. The tailgate, I think, is going to be an extra cost. I don't see them making tailgates universal. I think they're going to make tailgates specific to order, right? I think that's going to be something like that. So the tailgate basically folding down. Not everybody wants a ramp, so I think they're going to give the option. If you don't want a ramp, it's probably going to be another $1,500, $2,500 more. At least that's what I'm seeing coming up in the future. In the real world, I think that $49,000 price tag for the mid-range is gonna be more along the lines of $55,000 with a number of options added. So I think the price is a little bit deceiving, but it's not impossible because you can get that $49,000 truck. It's just if you want to stick with basics. What are my feelings on all this? I think ultimately we have to treat this truck as we treat every other Tesla. The options will always be there, and giving you the ability to customize your truck and make it more useful to you is going to be a key thing. But I think there's going to be a number of things that are going to be part of a standardized system. And Tesla's proven this time and time again, where they'll kind of standardize everything, but they kind of do that little unlock system where you purchase something, they just simply unlock that aspect of the vehicle. I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this is going to work. We don't have the true information. For all we know, that truck had a Model X bottom, and they put a truck on top of it. So we don't know the details, what type of batteries, how big the batteries are. Are they going to be the new battery styles? There's just so much to think about. And then, of course, there's also a few concerns that have been brought up before, which was the crumple zones. You have to remember that this truck is a exoskeleton, and it's a very strong exoskeleton. These vehicles need crumple zones. Without crumple zones, you're putting your driver and others at risk. So having this exoskeleton kind of makes me think that there's going to be some changes to the final design, especially just before production, because I don't see that the current exoskeleton being in any way possible to do a very good crumple zone. And again, this is very, very important. I think most people need to really kind of talk about this a little bit more. Ultimately, you need to figure out what is it that the truck is going to be able to do before production. And I think for a lot of people, this is where it's going to come in play. I don't think this is the final design. I don't think this is the final truck that's going to be delivered to the public. But I think the concept behind it is what we're all 200,000 plus people really are excited about, is the concept, that the fact that this is not going to be like every other truck. When it comes down to it, we don't have a clue about what's going to be the final design. We don't have a clue of what's going to be the final things on the truck. Or is it going to have mirrors? You know what? The odds are yes. I know that there's talks about, allowing cameras to replace mirrors. Frankly, I don't know about you guys, but mirrors are a huge advantage. Cameras can fail. Mirrors are, well, they're just mirrors. They're a piece of glass. So I think the final design is going to have key changes happening. And let's talk about the cover for a second, because that's an automated cover. Because if that cover fails on you, because it's automated, then all of a sudden everything you have in the truck is pretty much exposed. And so this is kind of another thing which I have to talk a little bit about, because me, somebody who's actually using a truck currently, I'll tell you the worst thing that can happen is for a cover to break on you. You have manual covers. They typically work out really well. This is not going to be manual. This is going to be automated. On top of it, there's talks about the cover having an option to have a solar panel cover. I think I see a few issues with this, but nothing major. Knowing Tesla, they're going to work out how they're going to put that together. But again, it comes down to what's going to happen with the little things, right? It's all these little things that are really going to come into play at the end of the day to make a decision on, is this truck the final truck? Am I going to purchase the final truck? As it is, absolutely. That's why I put a deposit on it. I think it's a wonderful truck. I'm looking forward to seeing what the final design is going to be. But as it stands, we don't actually know what the true design of the truck is going to be before it actually gets released. I would love to hear your opinions on what you think about this. Do you agree with me? Do you have something you'd like to see? Is there something you would like to see changed? Don't tell me the shape. I heard it 1,000 times. I personally love the shape. I love what I see with the CyberTruck. I think it's going to be really important to see. And wait, a lot of people, when they ask me, so are you truly buying this? I said, no, I put in a deposit on a truck. This is a fully refundable deposit, and it's $100. It's not, a big deal. But what I will say is that when they release the final options where I can really go through the options, I think that's when my final decision is going to be made. So the answer is, if everything lines up properly, absolutely, I will buy the truck. If I see that it's not usable, or it doesn't make sense for my lifestyle or my life in general, then no, of course I will not buy it. It doesn't make sense just to buy this for the sake of buying it. I said it earlier and I'll say it again. There are going to be changes. This CyberTruck, it's not the final design. I just don't see it possible, especially with the exoskeleton. Biggest worry I have is the crumple zones. We're talking about a very, very solid truck right now, but a solid truck does not necessarily mean it's a good truck. Having a solid cabin, sure, absolutely, you want something like that, but you also need that cushion of a crumple zone. So I would love to see this car in a, what's going to happen when this truck goes into actual testing and the crash tests and so forth and so on, because that's really where we're going to find out how much of the car has really changed in the big picture. All right, with all that said, thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate your comments. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Look forward to future videos. Till then, drive safe. And if you are driving on autopilot, please remember you are the driver. Autopilot is just simply an assistant. Bye.